Intuition is something that we all have, and yet all too often we're not using it to its full potential and giving it the ability to guide us and give us the answers that we are really looking for. I want to take just a few minutes today to guide you through some of the main reasons why we are perhaps less inclined to listen to that inner voice or gut feel. And then I'm going to go on to give you my 12 top tips to really start to kickstart your own internal GPS system, your intuition, and help you strengthen it to the point that you never feel that crippling sense of self-doubt ever again. Now, in addition to this, I've got some completely free content that you can download straight away that will support you on your own personal journey. And you can, as I said, access that pretty much with immediate effect. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then you will find the link for the free content somewhere below us in the description of this video. In addition to that, make sure that you like and subscribe my channel, because there's so much information that I really want to give you and share with you. There's loads of great content on the page already, and there's so much more to come. It's going to be an exciting ride these next few months. So first of all, what actually is intuition, and why do we need it? Well, your intuition, or your subconscious mind, thinks and does things that you aren't even aware of. Now, that part of your brain speaks about 650 words per minute, but in actual fact, only around 150 of these words actually come out of your mouth. And you know, for me, that's quite a big thing to comprehend. So basically, your subconscious is a huge memory bank that is permanently storing everything that has ever happened to you. And really, its capacity is virtually unlimited. By the time you reach the age of 21, you have already permanently stored more than 100 times the entire contents of the Britannica Encyclopedia. Now, that is really something quite mind-blowing if you actually take a moment to process that thought. Now, under hypnosis, we know that people can often remember with absolute clarity, perfect clarity, past events that may have happened to them many, many years before, but suddenly it's just like you're living it in the moment, there and then. But why don't we actively recall everything in our subconscious mind all of the time? Why can't we just bring it back to us whenever we want it? Well, while your unconscious memory is virtually perfect, it is actually your conscious memory, your conscious recall, that is probably a little bit suspect. And actually, as some of us get a little bit older, that becomes more of a problem. Now, the exciting news is that we can use our conscious minds to actually start to reprogram our subconscious minds and really start to harness the power of positive thinking to help us overcome those negative thoughts and bad habits, which will enable us to start to move forward towards achieving the life of our dreams. And this is something I talk about an awful lot in my capacity as a law of attraction coach. So let me just show you how, just give you a little bit of an idea. The conscious mind can be described as whatever you are currently aware of or experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're doing, seeing, touching, eating, who you're spending time with. You are conscious of it. You're aware of it. It is part of your physical reality. Conscious does not involve stored information. It is what is happening here and now in the present. It doesn't involve you thinking and making decisions because you're living it. It is easy to control your conscious mind because it is something that you are able to use when you're making your choices. You know what's going to make you feel good. You know what you like, what you don't like. In contrast, your subconscious mind is always working away in the background. It never, ever stops. But you're not necessarily aware of it. And in fact, more often than not, we're not aware of it. Now, your subconscious mind actually contains all of the stored information of absolutely everything, every single thing you have ever experienced in the whole duration of your life. And because of this, it influences how you react to certain people, situations, why you feel shy, why you're lazy, maybe you eat too much, or you've got some kind of unhealthy addiction. It is a learned behavior from your subconscious. On the positive side, your subconscious mind also affects things like why you're motivated, what makes you confident, why you're successful, cheerful, hopeful, why it gives you strength of belief, and so on. So there's a lot of things to be celebrated here. The key to using your subconscious mind to positively influence your thoughts is what we really want to start looking at in the remainder of this video. And learning how to use the two, the conscious and the subconscious together, really makes you an incredibly powerful person, because every moment that you are awake, your five senses are taking in a constant stream of information that your subconscious is then processing. These experiences are stored like memories, like a computer holds its data. But actually, we don't need to actively recall most of this information in order to function through our day-to-day lives. Now, in fact, it is thought that we probably forget somewhere between 95 and 99% of our daily activities and routines. Now, your subconscious mind can really perhaps be best compared to an aeroplane that is flying on autopilot. You know, it's constantly running programs to control how you walk, how you sit, how you breathe, how you talk, all the things that you do. You want to wiggle your fingers, or anything it is that you want to do. We don't have to think about these things. They just happen because the information is stored in your brain and it just flows. Your subconscious mind has homostatic impulse, okay? And this means that it is keeping your body temperature at the perfect 98.6 degrees, unless, of course, you're feeling a little under the weather. It also keeps you breathing regularly, one would hope, and it keeps your heart rate sort of beating at a consistent pace that is appropriate for you and for the activity that you're doing at any particular time. Now, through your nervous system, it actually starts to maintain a real sense of balance among the hundreds and hundreds of chemicals in the billions of cells of your body, so that your entire physical function operates in complete harmony most of the time. Now, obviously, we have little blips in our systems, you know, viruses that you get in computers. It's kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. Your subconscious mind also practices its approach in your mental capacity, in your thinking, by keeping you acting in a manner that is consistent with things that you have said and done in the past. Now, this is an important thing for you to remember. Consistent with things you have said and done in the past. Okay? Your subconscious mind causes you to feel emotionally and physically uncomfortable in situations when you attempt to do anything that is new or different, or represents some kind of change to any of your established patterns of behavior. You know, we talk about feeling out of our comfort zone. That's really what I'm talking about here. The sense of fear and discomfort are they're psychological signs that your subconscious has been activated. It's switched on. But it's been working to establish those behavior patterns in the background long before you ever became aware and took notice of these internal feelings. And that is really such an important thing for you to process and to think about. Now, the tendency to commit to these patterns is actually one of the main reasons why habits can actually be so hard to break. However, the good news is that when you learn to purposefully create such patterns, you can actually harness the power of the habit and personally instill new comfort zones into your routines, to which your subconscious mind will quickly start to adapt. And that is why we talk about 21 days to change a habit. We talk about the power of mindset. And, one of the freebies that I talked about earlier that you can download is an ebook on the power of gratitude, and really expressing your gratitude and bringing that in as part of a daily ritual or a daily routine for you, focusing on the things that make you feel good and the things that you're really, truly grateful for. They will start to feed into that subconscious of yours, so that you start actively looking for more things that are going to make you feel good and give you things to be grateful for and build you great memories, bring you wonderful friendships. Whatever it is that you're looking for, your brain will very, very quickly learn, and you will start to see some significant differences in the patterns of your daily life. So in my opinion, the next step is really to look at changing some of the habits that you may have consciously or unconsciously developed in your daily lives. Really look at changing those by using your conscious mind to really properly program your subconscious mind, so that the things that have been difficult for you in the past are less daunting. Since your subconscious mind has such a great amount of control over your positive and negative reactions and behaviors to different situations, the key really is to train your brain to produce more of the things we want, more of the positives, and to move away from the things that are detrimental to us. And this is where your conscious mind really comes into its own, because you can use your consciousness to reprogram and retrain your subconscious mind to do the things that are more beneficial to the world that you want to live in, both now and in the future. And that's where this really becomes incredibly powerful and exciting. Let me ask you, do you have goals that you want to reach? Habits that perhaps seem impossible to overcome? Or do you dream of a job that's going to change your life? Or, what is your vision for the future? Does it look very, very different to the one that you are experiencing today? Because by using your conscious thoughts to really start to reprogram your subconscious mind, you can start to bring all of the success into the areas of your life that you are currently looking for. And that's where you hear things about journaling and vision boards and positive affirmations. But it starts really by following 4 actually really very, very simple steps, which we're going to look at. So number 1 is to recognize the blocks. We call them roadblocks. You need to identify the thing that is holding you back from achieving that which you actually desire or want to achieve. So we're talking things like limiting thoughts or crippling fears. Let me give you some examples. If you want to write a book, but whatever you do, you just can't seem to get started, or you've started but you can't finish. What you need to do is understand what it is that is keeping you from reaching your goal. Is it because you think nobody's going to be interested in what you want to say? Is it that you don't have enough time to write the book? Or is it that you think, actually, I'm not a trained writer. Who's going to want to read my words? All of these thoughts are in your imagination, and it is only you that imagines them to be true. Doesn't mean they are actually factual. But your unconscious mind has been programmed to respond in this way, and your conscious choices then follow, because your unconscious mind is telling you these things because that's what it's learnt. Now, roadblocks can also be physical barriers. So perhaps you want to lose weight or stop smoking, but you allow your habit of scrolling through social media for 30 minutes or an hour a day to fill the time that could be spent exercising. So instead of going out and taking a walk to maybe shed a few pounds, you waste that time. think about your goals and dreams and find out what thoughts, habits, ideas, or barriers are actually keeping you distanced and holding you back from the things that you're actually wanting in your life. Now, the next step is learning to let go of these limiting thoughts once you actually know what they are. And that can be accepting these thoughts, embracing them, or learning to find a way around it. But whatever it is, you've got to let them go and relinquish their power over you. And sometimes this requires you to bring some form of pain to the surface into your conscious mind so that you have to face a reality and then release it and move on. And that's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable process, and it is something that you may need to get some help with. Perhaps you struggle with the ability to develop a trusting, committed relationship, for example, but you realize that you did not have that modeled for you in your childhood. You know, maybe your relationship that you saw your parents experiencing is causing you to think or fear certain things. Once you understand what is causing your emotions, you can address it and find a better alternative way of responding to these reactions. The next thing is set up the intention with your conscious mind. Okay, so now is the time to release the power of positive thinking and reprogram your subconscious goals. Now, this brings me into step one of my second free download that is available for you if you click on the link below, because the second freebie is actually a recorded meditation by me that will help you with setting your intentions, whether that is working out what your intentions should be to start with, or whether that is affirming them into your mind and your thought process so that you can help those intentions manifest into the kind of reality that you're looking for. So definitely do take advantage and sign up to those two freebies, because they will absolutely help you. They've certainly been designed to do that. Now, your conscious thoughts and actions can really reprogram your subconscious mind literally in a heartbeat. So a positive message can reprogram how your day goes. A stranger smiling at you in the street can literally change what has been a bad day to something that is not quite so negative. Maybe you need to heal a trauma or change some habits from a life of stagnation to something that is blossoming into a fulfilling and rewarding life and giving you the things and the time that matters to you most. Really, really use your subconscious mind to set an expectation of what is going to happen in your life in the future. And this really is now digging into the law of attraction, coaching and training that I do. So, for example, when you're faced with a roadblock, say to yourself, even though I've been here in the past, I don't have to take that same route. I don't have to do the same negative thing again. Your subconscious mind will listen, just as it has listened to all of the other important information that it has ever received since the day you arrived on this earth. And over time, your subconscious mind has no choice but to follow. It really is no longer interested in old habits, because it has now found a new habit that feels better to you and is consequently more rewarding and pointing you in the direction that you want to go. The key here is visualizing what it is that you want to happen and having a plan for how you will react to your roadblocks, using your conscious mind to enable you to stay away from the negatives and recognize what's going on at the appropriate time, which will allow you to follow an alternative plan that gets you through that moment in time. The fourth and final step is really to let your subconscious mind take over. Once you've retrained it, the point is to eventually allow your conscious mind to relax and let your subconscious mind take over again, just in the way it does with your breathing and regulating your body temperature. Once you have given your unconscious mind an alternative way to respond to a situation, it is then going to assume that that is the way that it should always respond in future. So if that's kicking an addiction or changing a mindset, with the right word, action, or ideas, you have created a new way for your subconscious mind to search in its database and find a positive, uplifting, and empowering way for you to respond and move forward, getting you closer and closer to the things that you are really, really looking for and desiring in this life. So we've done a lot of the work, or at least we've covered the theory, in terms of the way that we can allow our mind to shape a large part of our future. But really, the main reason I suspect for you coming on this video today was learning really how to harness your intuition and strengthen that. The reason I wanted to talk about the mindset piece first, because I'm a mindset coach. But for me, if your mindset is not in a positive place to start with, then working with your intuition is so much harder, because intuition it doesn't come from the mind. It's not physical. It's a feeling. And if your mind is constantly saying to you, "Don't be silly, that's not real," or "just ignore it, move on," what have you, then you're never going to really allow your intuition to give you the full benefit of its abilities. So for me, although we've spent quite a lot of time talking about mindset, that really is the first and perhaps most important step that needs to be done initially to get you into a place where you are ready to start firing up your intuition and listening to it, but most importantly, trusting your intuition. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation and had a really strong instinct or a gut feel, whatever it is that you have, however you want to refer to it, an instinct about what you should or shouldn't do? Because if you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about when I refer to intuition. That feeling in your tummy is not coming from either part of your conscious or your subconscious brain. It's hard to technically define intuition, but if you can think of it as an innate sort of knowing or an understanding, I mean, I call it my internal GPS of what is true and the right direction for me. Now, for sure, it is different for different people. We all experience it differently. But when you feel it, you're going to know. You're going to know that that is your intuition firing up. So what does intuitive or intuition actually mean? Well, as I've said, it doesn't come from the conscious mind, and it isn't an analytical skill. The more you overthink things and analyze things, the less your intuition will communicate with you. You can't develop intuition through research or throwing yourself into years and years of study in order to improve. In stark contrast, intuition is typically more noticeable and resonant, at least when you are still and you take time to reflect or engage in more passive activities. But as I said to you the whole way through, the key is to having your mindset in the right place before you start this. Highly intuitive people generally feel that they can pick up on their gut feeling early. And as such, they're really comfortable taking notice of those feelings, listening to it, and following the direction that it is giving you. So, for example, perhaps you've got a friend who's quickly able to make a decision about what is the right thing for them to do in any particular situation. Whereas we all have friends that sort of waffle and, shift back and forth between their available choices. If I do this, what about this? And they just lose so many opportunities. Maybe you know someone that can really tune into different energies in a room and understand how other people are feeling, seemingly without even really having to spend time communicating or applying a great deal of effort into getting to know them. Some intuition examples or intuitive experiences could, there's hundreds, but it could include a sense of knowing that something is going to happen, whether that be a positive or a negative. It's an unexplained feeling that just isn't going to go away and is later explained by a situation or a reality that actually occurs, and you just know that something's going to go. If you're feeling very strong emotions towards someone or something, and you later understand that those feelings were correct and why they were correct, or you get flashes and glimpses of things, people, places, situations, conversations, whatever it is, but they seem to come out of nowhere. That, my friend, is your intuition talking to you. So how can we activate our intuition? Because we've all got it. We just have forgotten how to listen to it. Intuitive people don't have anything different to you. Your DNA is not preventing you from using it. And you can put effort into actively developing your intuition if you know the right way about going about it. And that really is primarily the course of this particular video. It's about strengthening your intuition and learning to trust it, and understanding the unique energy and the feelings and sensations that will help you access your intuition whenever you need it, whatever the situation. We're also going to potentially look at ways that you can relate your dreams and how they connect with your intuition, because sometimes your intuition actually comes to you in the form of a dream. But what we really want to do now is, I've got 12 different things or different steps that you can try, which will help you to open up or develop and strengthen your own intuition. And you can use this, you can come back to this as often as you want, because for sure it is going to take some practice. Developing intuition takes time and observation, but you will become more aware of yourself and how your intuition communicates with you the more time you spend practicing these particular activities that I'm going to set out for you now. So let's get started. Some of these are not going to come as huge surprises to you, because anyone who follows my recordings will know the kind of things I talk about. But number one is meditation. When your energy is scattered all over the place and you're distracted by noise, it's harder to get in touch with your intuition, because intuition really arises during quieter moments when you're alone, when you're spending time in silence, and you can really listen and tune in. Meditation can be as simple as sitting for, just a couple of minutes with no distractions, no social media, no washing machine, no radio going, anything like that. Or if you find that difficult, then try a guided meditation like the one I've included in my free gifts to you. Take a chance on following your gut instinct. This is tip number 2. If you notice a strong instinct to do something or move away from something, try following it. Follow that advice and see what happens as a result. Because seeing positive outcomes after trusting your intuition really can do nothing but reinforce that you actually do know what is best for you, and it will give you more confidence to trust that gut feeling in future. Now, for sure, start with something that's low stakes. Don't go literally put it all on red. I'm not suggesting that. But take something, maybe, take a different turn or catch an earlier bus or whatever it is that your intuition is telling you to do. Number 3, this is a nice one. Do some daily body scans, because many of us are used to overriding the way we physically feel and just try to push through from one situation to the next. But if you make a practice of really acknowledging the way your body feels, you will understand what it is telling you and what you really need. So take just a couple of moments and scan your body throughout the day at different times and notice tension that you may be holding or sensations. Good or bad, can be either way. But the goal here is to become more present so that you are better equipped at picking up on subtle messages that your body may be sending you. Because remember, I've told you, this is your internal GPS system that is giving you the route map, the roadmap that you need. Number 4, something I love, spend time outside. Being outside is good for us for so many reasons. Spend some time in nature. Be mindful about its beauty and the perfection that Mother Nature delivers to us constantly. It can really help you clear out distracting thoughts and niggling worries and make you more aware that you too are a beautiful living being and you're perfect just as you are. Okay? Be aware of what thoughts actually come up in your mind when you're outside. And this could well be your intuition that's speaking to you, particularly if you are also able to quieten your mind and calm yourself down. Number 5, you just heard my phone there. Do a technology fast. Now, with so many distractions coming at us from, all of our screens and our phones, we might not even know when our intuition is speaking to us. That was a message, wasn't it? That was the spirit telling me to turn my phone off. But because we're so busy bouncing from one alert to the next, we don't stop to listen to what messages we are being given internally. So, give yourself a considered technological detox. Think about how you can entertain yourself for 4 or 5 hours without switching on your phone or the TV or the radio. And by freeing up this digital free space, you're actually giving yourself permission to allow messages and insights to float into your subconscious mind, and they could well be the hints and tips that you are searching for. Number 6, ask your intuition a question. Really simple. Try being direct. Write out your question that you're thinking about and then sit with it. Do any answers seem to just arrive in your mind? Do they pop up? Journal. That's something I talk about an awful lot. Journal about anything that comes to you that could be a potential answer, a piece of guidance, a warning, a different thing for you to consider. And if nothing comes up, don't stress, don't be discouraged. Sometimes just focusing on the question itself is enough to ultimately bring an answer to you later on. It could be later on in the day, it could be next week, it could be whatever. But often that answer will come to you when you're doing something that is totally unrelated to the question that you asked. Number 7, one of my favorites, journal. Journal, journal, journal. On a related topic, write and use it as a way to override your conscious mind that we talked about and allow things to bubble up to the surface. Experiment with sitting down once a day with a cup of coffee and writing 1, 2, maybe 3 pages about what's going on, what's on your mind, what's troubling you, how are you feeling. Document things that seem like signs or interesting coincidences and see if there are ways that you can actually connect the dots and make sense out of them. Now, this isn't necessarily going to happen in a couple of days. It needs to be done over a considered period of time, which again is why you need your mindset in the right place before you do this. Number 8, if you're more creative, then draw. Start an art journal. If journaling and writing feels intimidating, or if you don't connect with words and writing, then explore more visually orientated techniques. And that can be pen and paper, drawing it yourself. It can be cutting out images from glossy magazines, downloading pictures from the internet. Whatever it is, create a page of your ultimate goal of what you want, whatever your life looks like, your dream partner, your ideal job, your bank balance, your home, your holidays, whatever it is. Draw your thoughts or your vision for your life and your future, because that can help you unearth what is going on inside you. And it may uncover some of these roadblocks that we talked about earlier on. I talked momentarily about dreams. If you dream, start a dream notebook. Now, that can mean small adjustments in your daily life about the way you pay attention, because it can help you become more present in your dream life. Now, this is something that often people find hard. It's something that you may have heard referred to as lucid dreaming, because it gives you the ability to pick up on things in your dreams that you may well have missed otherwise. This definitely takes practice. Really should be doing that technology buzz, shouldn't I? It really does take practice. But when you wake up, try and jot down what you remember from your dreams and see if there are any messages in there that resonate to you or that you think might be hints and tips that your intuition is trying to give you. We talked about art journaling and vision boards, and that really is a beautiful thing to do. You know, put down your biggest, brightest future, your most audacious goals. If there's nothing standing in your way, what would your dream life look like? Design it. Give yourself permission to dream, because that really can activate your intuition. What feels right for you when you think about your future? Who's in it? What's your ideal day like? Where are you waking up? What is your view? What do you eat for your breakfast? How do you take your coffee? Who do you have it with? How can you get there? What is part of your higher self and life if you let your mind run free? What is coming to you? Number 11, again, this is something I love. Work with tarot cards or get a tarot card reading. If you're coming up completely with blanks when you try and call on your intuition, then tarot really can help and just give you that nudge. Spending time with guided tarot or meditations, or even just looking at a card and thinking about what it means to you, can shift your mindset and take you in a completely different direction and uncover some highly intuitive thoughts if you allow yourself to be in the present mindset to do that. And my last, number 12, act fast. Okay? Try not to overthink things. Generally, your first thought, feeling is your intuition kicking in. It's the suggestion from your gut. So write it down so you don't forget, or make a point of acting on it straight away. If you get into a place of thinking too much about it, it can be easy to talk yourself out of a suggestion or overanalyze a situation. And by then you've lost that feeling and your intuition is going to give up and it's going to be lost on you altogether. Now, your intuition is always available to you, but it is up to you to do the work on your own mindset and your own ability that will allow you to recognize and acknowledge the direction and the guidance that you are being given. By using these tips, you should be able to get a much clearer sense of what intuition feels like, what it looks like, how it is for you. And this will give you a foundation for developing intuition from which you can then dive deeper if you choose to do so. And once you've got that confidence and you're no longer doubting, that irritating little voice on your shoulder that says, that's not possible, that's not for you. Once you've worked through your mindset and then you start to implement some, or ideally all of those 12 tips I've just given you, you will be amazed at how quickly your intuition starts to guide you towards everything you have been looking for and hoping to achieve in your life. Now, I hope that this whistle-stop tour has given you an awful lot to think about. There's been a lot of information in this particular video, but I really hope that you take this and use it to the best of your ability, because, I've given you some mindset things to think about. I've worked on I've covered some of the things that I talk about with my law of attraction coaching, and really how you can strengthen your own intuition. On top of that, once again, don't forget the freebies that are available to you if you click on the link just below this video, because that's going to help you with practicing gratitude, which is a great thing for you to do, and then the guided meditation that will help you harness your own intuition, which will get you much clearer in terms of where you want to go and what it is that you need to be focusing on. Now, as always, I would love any questions or feedback from you in terms of the content in this video. And if there's anything else that you want to share with me or that you would like me to cover in a future recording, then of course, please do get in touch. I love hearing from you.